Jack, because I'm going to stir it up right now. I'm committed to stirring up your remembrance of the divinity within you, of your perfection, of your wholeness. Our hearts are a sanctuary for the divine. We ought to be writing books around here. No, really, we want to follow other people's writings and other people's teachings, but it's all coming from you, and that's where the exciting part is, isn't it? When you just have to stand up and express the truth for yourself, to represent the truth right here and now. It's not something somebody said 2,000 years ago or even last week. It's what I'm experiencing right here and right now. I'm stirred up by the Spirit of the living God in each of us, in me and in you. We come together and we communicate that vibration of Spirit. That's why today's message is going to be time to step up your spiritual awakening. It's time to step it up. It's time. What did we say, Faith, last fall? We were committed to turning up the volume. That's what we're doing. We're turning up the volume because it's a vibration. Excuse me for a second. I'll get rid of that. It's a vibrational communication. That's what we're going to be talking about. Oh, that was from last week. What were we doing? We were celebrating something really cool. We were celebrating ourselves. We were learning about the law of vibration. We were learning how to smile. I love it, you guys. I love it. Because you're called now to be the master of your own being and your own life. You're called now to join together in an equality of spirit. So there's no more big gurus. There's no more people out there. There's not even, this may offend some of you. There's not even a God out there that I can pray to. There's a God principle that I can utilize that's in activity all the time. He's not going to give you a favor and leave the other guy out. I'm not going to pray to some God out there just for me personally. Oh my goodness. What am I going to do? I'm going to put something in action, an action of mine that's for the highest good of everyone. God is everywhere. If I have a God out there, then God won't be in here. I'm saying I'm separate from God. God is everywhere. God is. God is what the universe is. It's an energy and an intelligence and a spirit, a divine spirit that's within us and within everything. It's in everything and in everyone. And the only reason we have the conflicts of this world and the separation and everything that we don't like about the world is because we've forgotten it. We've fallen asleep. That's why I want to step up my spiritual awakening. Because I have fallen asleep to who I am. Last week, I invented something called the 5 attributes of awakening consciousness. And we'll discover the connection of that with the 5 principles of unity today. We'll discover how we can activate and utilize these principles in our own personal life journey. Because there's no question, spiritual law is in operation all the time. But are we working with the laws of spirit? Or are we fighting against them with trying to use our limited perception? Perhaps it's time to cooperate with our highest good. Step up our spiritual awakening by working with the laws of the universe, rather than fighting against the truth. So here we go. What's the first principle of unity? 5 attributes of awakening consciousness and the 5 principles. That might become a book someday too. Look at that. That looks pretty good. So our first principle is God is absolute good, everywhere present, all the time. Incredible. Instead of praying for good things to happen, realize God is absolute good, everywhere present all the time. When I stop resisting it It's there. It's already there for me. It's already there waiting for you. One of the laws that we put into action when we want to manifest something is we pretend it's already there. It's already happened. It's already occurred. It's already here. Amazing. Act like it's already occurring, and pretty soon you realize it is occurring. And if it's not, then it's not what you really wanted anyway. Maybe you're going faster than that. Maybe you want to be further down the line in your spiritual awakening. And what you're asking and praying for is too little. It's too limited. Maybe I'm praying for something that's not in my soul's purpose, not in my highest good. I'm going to go, maybe Spirit wants me to go beyond that. And I'm going to be left in a higher place. So, what's the attribute associated with this principle? I'm recognizing that my own mind is one with the mind of God. Love it. I love it. I love it. So what happens when I do this is that God, divine substance, which is everywhere present, becomes what I am. That spirit and that consciousness that is everywhere present is no longer something I'm looking for. It's something I'm representing. Isn't that amazing? I'm not looking for an experience, a cause and effect experience. If I do this, then this will happen. Not really like that. It's more like if I get into the thought system of divine law, then I will recognize I am that. And I am that already. The second principle of unity is that human beings have a spark of divinity within them, the Christ Spirit. Therefore, we're all divine. We're all inherently good. And if I didn't have this principle, I would be lost. In the world today, I would be lost in that constant conflict and judgment and enemies all around me and having to fight and have all the things that we know are mistaken ideas about ourselves and have brought all the conflicts of the world are from ignoring your divinity, denying it or ignoring it, and ignoring the divinity within others, seeking only to judge them based on their past experience. So the attribute that is being cultivated in me now is that I accept my being is spiritual in nature. It doesn't begin and end with this body. Many of you who believe in reincarnation know you've had a lot of different bodies. Maybe in the ultimate view of all that, you are all the bodies. You've been everybody. You are everybody. So what's wrong with this body being the perfect Christ, the perfect child of God? What's wrong with doing it right here, right now? Don't wait for another lifetime. Don't wait for something else to happen. It's only based on what? My decision. My decision. Why? Because human beings, being divine, as we are creating our own experiences by the activity of our thinking. Everything in the manifest realm has its beginning in thought. Maybe not the kind of thoughts that you're thinking now. But if you really dwell on this truth, you realize that your mind is the creative principle by everything you experience. And if you focus on the divinity in yourself, guess what? Your life will be divine. And everyone you meet will come to wake up to their divinity as well. And that's why we do what we do as spiritual teachers, as ministers, as anyone who's in the healing arts, is to help bring about a recognition, an awakening to our spiritual nature. So I can allow my higher mind to think for me. This was the real revelation to me. I realized I've been doing this for a long time. And I can also acknowledge that this is an activity of mine that I want to do. It doesn't happen out of the blue. It's not happening to me. It's something that I'm doing. I'm allowing my higher mind to guide me, to think for me, guide me. And I'm trusting in it. I'm trusting something beyond my present understanding, conceptual understanding. Because how I understand it is through the heart. The heart is the sanctuary of the divine. Thank you, Patricia. That's a gem. You know, I love coming here because I can get a gem every time, every day. And you can take that. It's the pearl worth any price. And you really dwell on the truth like that. My heart is the sanctuary for the divine. I can really begin to use the creative power of my mind to allow that to be manifest in me in greater and greater amounts. And why not? What's my other option? What are my other alternatives? To allow my fears to guide me? My judgments? My past? My perceptions and viewpoints? How I'm different from you? I'm going to resist evil and fight against it? All those things. That's our alternative. I would rather let my higher mind guide me and show me what good is going to come out of this situation. What good can I bring to this situation? Why am I here? What is the purpose for me in this moment for being here? What is the higher purpose for me being with you right now in this moment? Maybe it's to bring about a greater understanding, something beyond my present understanding. And for that, what we use in unity, of course, is prayer. Prayer is creative thinking. It heightens the connection to God-mind, therefore brings about all these beautiful things, the wisdom, the healing, the prosperity, all the good things that I am grateful for in this life. Prayer, creative thinking, is what brings that into my experience. And so, that being so, the attribute that I am manifesting here is an ability to cultivate. Right? I'm cultivating an ability to understand things from that higher perspective. Understanding from a higher perspective. Prayer is cultivating an ability to understand things from a higher perspective. It's wonderful. Whenever you call your prayer partner, the first thing that happens is you say, well, this is going on, and that's going on, and let's pray for this guy, and this one is sick, and this one is... all these things, right? And my prayer partner at least says, God is in the midst of this situation. Let's look at, something else is occurring here. There's something else happening. There's another way to look at it. And so we open our minds to look at it in different ways. And we start to see a movement of spirit, a guidance from our higher self. That no matter what it looks like, Spirit is always giving and always moving you forward. And so, when I'm cultivating this, I will know and understand these principles, but that's not enough. I must get out and live them. The wonderful thing in my unity classes this week, they were talking about some folks are enlightened, but there's not an integration of that light because they've withdrawn from the world completely to experience this integration. This illumination. And when they come back into the world, it's too much. They can't handle it. It's so different from the illuminate experience. So the important thing is integration. Living the principles will bring you into an integration of the light in you. The living Christ is what you are. And it's what you will be able to express in the world. And you won't get tripped up by the appearances of evil because they're just appearances. So the attribute in living these principles is this. I can now experience communication as what? Waves of vibration rather than concepts described in words. I had a teacher and he was very helpful to me. He says, the words just help distract you so that you can feel the light. They let the light come in. The words might focus your mind to get in the now, but Finally, it's a vibrational experience. The light coming into your consciousness. But remember, the cells are also consciousness. The body that you're representing here has a consciousness, has intelligence. It's a blank slate, and it takes on whatever you feed it from your mind. It will represent whatever you tell it to represent. And if you want to allow it to represent your higher mind, wow, there it is. There's the Christ. You are representing the Christ because you're allowing the light or your higher mind to represent you. So those are my 5 attributes. And they're pretty much in line with the 5 principles of unity. I love that. I love how it works because I wasn't thinking about it at all. I just wrote these things down as kind of guidelines for myself. All of a sudden I realized that's a talk right there. That's something that can be helpful. And I want to be helpful. Charles Fillmore looked at traditional Christianity, and he always tried to give it a perspective, a metaphysical perspective, a new thought perspective. So, in the Lenten season, he'd written something, a beautiful book called Keep a True Lent. I love it. And it's all Christianity purely through his experience, metaphysically experienced in him. And I'd like to read a little bit about the attributes that he speaks of. God is spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. We do not see God with our physical eyes, except as he manifests himself through his works, his attributes. And his attributes are therefore brought into expression by man who is his son, and who is like him in essence. Jesus was a true expression of God because he was like him. And if we would manifest the divine attributes, we must seek to attain the consciousness and the understanding that characterize Jesus. We must endeavor to raise our thoughts and our feelings to the God level if we would make ourselves channels through which he can come forth into expression and manifestation. And that's what we're dedicated to doing, is to make ourselves channels for the expression of God in every way possible. To take on the attributes of God would therefore be really a requirement for that to happen. So in our meditation, in Principle 3 in prayer, I want to read just one thing. And I'll probably close here with this. This is a nice affirmation or meditation for all of us. Because our minds are creative, we must use the creative principle to bring this about. Here's a good one. I'm going to read from the 5 principles. I am fully divine and fully human, as Jesus was. I am on earth to express God as me, a part of spirit in its infinite variations. I am free and unlimited, the creator of my experience. What I believe comes to me. What I want is already mine. What I perceive becomes real. What I know is the playfulness and creativity that I recognize as God's image in me. We are co-creating together my life, this world, and all that is. I play a part. I have a role. And the universe would not be complete without me. The future is mine to design. That's from the 5 principles. Your future and your present is yours to design. It's all in your hands. How do you experience yourself and others? How are you experiencing the world? It's all in your hands. It's all up to you. It's in your mind. And you can follow that higher guide, that divine consciousness within you to lead you every moment to your highest good. It's such a joy. I love how he says it's a playful creativeness. That's the universe. It's playful. It's creative. It's a wonderful adventure. And I'm so glad I'm on the adventure with you guys. I love you. Thank you for being here today. God bless you.
You have been watching the message from our Sunday celebration service here at Unity on Cape Cod, providing a positive path for spiritual living. Please join us every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. at 147 Walton Ave, Hyannis, Mass. And visit us online at www.unityoncapecod.org.